Aloha, good morning, good afternoon, wherever in the world you may be coming from. Thank you so much. My name is Sam Wilhoit from Remix AI, and I am going to be your host today. This is the Fortune Follow-Up Bootcamp. Over the next 3 days, we are going to be diving into how to make more money out of the leads that you already have, how to maximize your marketing budget, and how to use the best sales practices, the best automations, and the best AI, and the best combination of those things to do it. So we are going to break down all of those things. I am very grateful and humbled that you would give me your time and energy to be here today. It's a beautiful thing. Being in a group of like-minded entrepreneurs like this is really what it's all about. You know, entrepreneurship can be a lonely game. So growing, building, masterminding, that's what this is all about. Let me introduce myself real quickly. I've owned my company Remix AI for the past 8 years. I've been in business my entire life, 15, 20 years in business. I have owned, operated, advised, and consulted, bought, and sold successful small businesses many times over the past 15 years. I come from the trades. Our family business was a landscaping business in Hawaii. Did that for 7 years out of college. So, I really do come from the dirt. I've done it all when it's come to sales, to building the business, doing the direct sales, on the phone, door knocking. So in those early days, I also worked with other businesses, roofing companies, solar companies, growing their marketing, doing sales, again, direct sales, as well as moving up in the game. And that's where we come to today. Myself doing marketing and sales consulting and fulfillment services for small businesses, typically those that do quote unquote high ticket sales, meaning you set appointments to take calls over the phone or in person. Now, what we're going to talk about today will apply to most businesses if that's not your business. You're going to have to take a different approach if you're talking about e-commerce or, some different maybe business models, restaurants, but there are amazing things that restaurants and e-commerce that could be doing with this type of technology that they're not. Did millions of sales with the trades in the early years and have done the same thing now with my current business and my clients' businesses. You saw a few of them earlier. Day one, we are going to be focusing on how to sell like the top 1%. Again, forgive me if it's hard to read. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the $200 billion sales blueprint. Now, what does that mean? Have I done $200 billion of sales? No, of course not. But a lot of what I'm going to talk about this whole time is third-party proof, okay? This is something that you can or should be utilizing in your sales. Third-party proof means that I can, A, give you the first party, which is me giving you my personal examples, which helps. You can take my word for it. B is second party is a testimonial, like you watched at the beginning of the video. Somebody else, okay, that's that's giving more confidence, but those can be fake too. So third party proof means that I'm going to give you examples of documented real world examples, scientific studies, and other things like that, so that you don't have to take my word for it. You can take Harvard's word for it, right? Because that's one of the main studies I'm going to cite right now when we go start getting into the depth of statistics around sales, right? I'm not going to tell you exactly what this is, but this is, you can go ahead and guess. We're going to break down, because today, we're going to be talking about automation, sales, all that thing. So I'm trying to say, how am I going to say it without giving it away? One of the top tech sales organizations in the world, publicly traded company, big publicly traded company. The only hint I'll give you is that they are a sales organization. They have sales teams. They sell software over the phone or in person. So it's not Apple. Obviously, Apple would be a $3 trillion example because that's how much their market cap is. But somebody else who's a player and leader in their field. That's all I'm going to say today. So that's that. Third party proof, right? Don't take my word for it. Some of you know me, some of you don't. Some of you are complete strangers. So this is going to be the most important. And this is one of the top 2 most powerful sales mechanisms. More powerful than first party proof or testimonials. Third party proof and kitchen table logic, which is something that we'll also go into, are the 2 most powerful for sure. Let's talk about, again, why and how we're all here. I do this as a service for my clients. So typically when I do this event, yes, it's free. What am I trying to sell? Well, yes, I'm definitely trying to sell something, and I'll let you know what that is, but I don't care if you buy it or not, right? So again, that's how I'm able to throw these events, right? Because at the end of this, I typically come away with a couple of clients, and there's a lot of folks who want to do it themselves, which is how I'm able to give this away for free. But I'm just letting you know now that there will be an offer that I will present. So just get that out of the way to begin with. Because, sometimes people come and go through these things and they're like, oh, this is free. What's the deal? And then like at day 3, then it's like, all right, everybody, I'm going to sell you something. And I just, you know what I mean? It was just kind of a bait and switch. And everybody's like, oh, then it gets weird and awkward. So we're not doing that. Just so you know, super happy to help people at every level here. This is the big passion of what and why I do, is just to help as many people as I can. And the why is a big part of what we're going to talk about today and every day. It's the how, but it's really the why is so important. What we're mainly talking about is going to be on the sales side of things: automation, taking sales calls, best practices, assuming that you already have leads or some level of leads, right? Automation becomes more necessary when you have a higher volume of leads, right? So in the beginning, you kind of don't need it. Now it's good to start building things out ahead of time, because by the time you need it, you're going to feel like you're underwater. And it's never too late, but then you're playing catch up. But some of you may be more focused on, okay, I don't have as many leads as I want. And we'll talk about that too. Whatever it may be, more dig into your personal issues, problems, how it's working, right? So whether you're trying to get more leads or when we're talking about maximizing the leads that we have. Okay, and then the third day is going to be how, right? The how. I'm going to start with misconceptions, all right? Misconceptions around sales, marketing, and leads. People talk about good leads and bad leads. People talk about one call closes and these things. The entire name of my event here, Fortune Follow-Up Bootcamp. The fortune is in the follow-up. This is a timeless wisdom in business, and it's true. It's completely true. And these timeless principles persist and continue through all of our technological changes, okay? So when we're talking about 3 parts of this system: the human, which is us, the AI, and then the automation parts of it, people a lot of times get caught up in the sexiness of the AI. Oh, the AI is going to do it. AI can do everything. AI cannot do everything. And the secret, again, is in the humans. The secret is us. The AI cannot do everything. And if it could, you really shouldn't let it, because it can do a lot of weird things sometimes. Some of the most important things that we do is put parameters on the AI to make sure it's not doing certain things, right? The secret is you. The secret is the human. AI, artificial intelligence, let me do this again. Give me 1 second. Artificial intelligence is nothing without actual intelligence. What is actual intelligence? You might call it natural intelligence. You might call it human intelligence. We created this thing, right? Maybe you and I didn't create it. I'm not the software programmer, so maybe we don't feel like we're the genius that is really sitting above it, and we feel scared of it maybe. We are the actual intelligence, and we always will be, all right? That's the secret. The big secret is that it's not really a secret. And so surprise, people a lot of times are expecting some big secret. But that's really the secret. The secret is you. All right. The secret is me. And so we're going to iron sharpen iron in these next few days to make sure that we can all come out a lot stronger. Gives you confidence, right? Give yourself confidence to make the commitments, to do the things, to feel like you can do it, to feel like you are the one, to feel like you're not at the mercy of AI or that you're behind, right? Don't feel like you're behind, all right? Here's the deal. Part of what we're going to talk about today again: first mover advantage. First mover advantage. What does that mean? First mover advantage is in the name. It's those who hit a big new market first, win the biggest and they get the biggest gains, right? We can look at this in terms of the early internet days, the Google days, right? Early Google days. Whoever got on Google ads first killed it, had clicks for pennies, all this kind of stuff. And over time, it gets saturated. Facebook ads. If you were in early Facebook ads in 2008, 9, 10, when it was just in its infancy in those early years, same thing, Wild West, people just killing it, cheap. Today, same thing with AI. People are feeling like maybe I'm behind and the world just keeps moving faster. We want to be first, but not all of us are going to be first. Yeah, the first ones get the most, but the key is whoever moves experiences the result. So whoever moves number 10 is going to experience a much greater result than the person that's number 1,000, right? If you get in a year or two later, you feel like you're late, but guess what? There's people that are coming in 5, 10 years later. You've got them. So another timeless wisdom, we're gonna do a lot of principles, right? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is now, right? What does that mean? Another saying, don't cry over spilt milk. There's no going back. Sorry. We've all going to go through amazing trials and tribulations to get where we are today, right? So let's just focus on what we can do and let's not cry over spilt milk and realize that everyone who moves and follows the principle will experience the result, right? So a lot of what we're going to talk about today as well, you can see I'm kind of setting the groundwork, right? Because I want you to have the frame and perspective of which we're talking to this through. I'm not just going to try to razzle dazzle you with all of this AI hype. That's the least bit of what we're going to talk about. What we're really going to talk about is this. Principles. Principles are laws that govern. Principles are things that if a principle is applied, the result will occur, right? What a lot of people are focused on is strategies, maybe techniques, whatever. My favorite one or the worst one, hacks. Anyone familiar with the term hack? It's become a good thing in business. Anyone ever call you a hack? You know what that means? It means you're blowing it. You suck. A hack? Now I understand the principle. Efficiency is very important. All right. I understand the principle. This is not hacks. This is not strategies, not techniques, not templates. Nope. Not that. Principles are laws that govern. And if you apply the principle, you will achieve the result. All right. One of my favorite principles, just to give you an example, polarity. Polarity, positive and negative, right? Polarity exists in permanence, always in all places. If you've ever looked at a battery with a positive and negative pole, it would not work without those two things. You look at the earth, we have a positive and negative pole. Without good, there could be no bad. Without bad, there could be no good. Without black, there could be no white. Without hot, there could be no cold. I could go on forever. I'm a positive person and an optimistic person, but you have to be realistic. I love the self-help and the secret, but if you're just going to focus on positivity and be like, there's no negativity, I mean, you're just delusional. I'm optimistic and I'm positive, but I'm not delusional. And I want you to understand the difference. Polarity. I think everyone is kind of familiar with that, I hope. It's one of the basic principles of physics, which is the godfather of sciences. Another one is mass and energy. Mass can neither be created nor destroyed. Also, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. All right. You might be asking yourself right now, like, what the heck is going on? I signed up to learn about AI and sales, and he's talking about physics. What the AF is going on? Principles, right? If I teach you techniques and strategies, and if I sell you software, and if I give you templates, I'm not here to set you up for failure. This principles, why don't I just use the principles? That's what it's all about. So I hope you're here for me, here for me with it. I hope you see the light. Anybody who feels like this isn't for them, completely understand. But listen, this is it. This is what we're doing, y'all. Principles. All right. So that being said, where are we at? Speaking of energy, how much time, energy, and money has it taken you to get where you are today, right now? Think about that. How much of your time, energy, money, blood, sweat, and tears have you put into your life to get here right now where you are? Time, energy, money. How much? I want to tell you, for me, it's a damn lot. It is a damn lot. I have put in so much time, energy, and effort to get here. I have failed. I have succeeded multiple times. I've gone through ups and I've gone through downs. I've gone through deep depressions. I've gone through amazing highs. How about you? How about you? Does anybody feel comfortable to, I'm about to jump into some examples of myself, but does anybody feel comfortable to come off and share how they feel? Does that give you any type of emotional response? Have you worked hard and long over the years? Are you working hard and long now to build something that might take a lot of time to come to fruition?
Real quick, real quick. I've lost it all, got it back, lost it all again, then felt drained to getting them back, and then pretty much a straight emotional roller coaster where it's like, okay, I have the money, now I don't have the family. Now I have the family, now I don't have the money. Now, and then, so yeah, 100%. A lot of time, energy, and sacrifices, and still chasing, not even chasing, but still trying to get to that ultimate point where it's like, okay, now I can say I have both.
My man, Brian. Thank you so much for coming off the mic. Everybody, please give a round of applause for Brian. I know it takes courage to come in, do public speaking. It takes courage to come get up in front of the class. So thank you so much. Listen, you couldn't have said it better. Oh my God, you hit my nail. You hit me right on the head with that one. The ups and the downs. I want to keep the urgency. I want to keep this again a big part of the why, right? We all have we've all got either family or friends or something out there that is just really important to us. That is our why, right? It's typically not just about the money, but sometimes it is. And if that's fine, all the more power to you. But listen, there's something that's your why, and I want to break into that because that's really going to be the fuel that gets you through all of this, because there's going to be a lot more energy, time, and money. One of the things that we're going to go through is a man named Ari Weinsberg owns a deli called Zingerman's Deli in Detroit, I believe, and he has what he calls the 12 natural laws of business. It's the number 7, I'm sorry. But it's basically that as you succeed and grow, you just get better problems. Everybody's thinking that their problems are going to go away or they're not going to have to work hard or do something. You get better problems, which is a good thing. We are human beings with a mental capacity to do amazing things and create something from nothing. So we're here to solve problems. That's a good thing. Again, polarity is not a bad thing, right? I'm gonna talk about my why then a little bit. That's what I'm gonna do. Obviously, my family first and foremost. I have a beautiful wife and son, parents, and a lot of the grandparents, all of that, brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews. Do it for my family first and foremost. I'm from Hawaii, and I definitely do it for the people in place of Hawaii. You know, there's a spot in my heart for, Hawaii is a very high cost of living, and a lot of people that live here have to move, right? There's a lot of people born and raised here who really want to be here, and the jobs just aren't here, right? So doing what I do, the jobs that we have here are tourism and military, and which is fine, but it's not enough. It's not like other high, cost of living markets like San Francisco and New York. They have the high paying jobs to support them. So we don't have that. So what myself and a lot of people are trying to do here is build a third leg of the economy, things around either tech or AI or agriculture or a lot of green energy companies and green initiatives. And so we have a growing and vibrant venture capital and investment and startup culture here that's small but growing. So I just want to do my part for that. That's a huge part of my why. I live here in Hawaii, do well, able to support our family and live well. But listen, we could just go anywhere else in the country and keep a lot more of that money, right? This is what they call the brain drain. You may or may not have heard that before, where the best and brightest leave, because even someone here who's doing well is going to look around and be like, hey, I'm making X amount of money. I'm paying way more here. I could go to Arizona or wherever and make more money and spend less of it and spend less taxes. And so this is part of my commitment of this is my mission, part of my mission. So that's my why. So I'm going to break that down more as we go. Later on, and then tomorrow, the next day, I'm going to show you pictures of my family, give you more of the heart-wrenching stories, right? Because it's that vulnerability that I think helps us really all kind of get through and really relate. So I'm going to do as much of that as I can. Again, Brian, thank you for coming off and doing that yourself and everyone else that's able throughout. The most important thing is the fortune is in the follow-up, right? I'm going to keep saying that. There's a funny saying that a friend of mine, a mentor of mine, always said. One of the biggest problems in businesses is the drop off between marketing and sales, right? It's the follow up. It's what we're talking about right now. It's getting leads and thinking they're bad because you call them once or twice and they didn't close, right? That's the problem. He says that it's marketing's job to generate the leads and it's sales' job to tell marketing that the leads suck, right? It's a funny joke, all right? But it's so true because the biggest problem is getting sales and marketing to work nice together. They seem like they're so similar, but they're just really worlds apart. That's the problem we're talking about fixing today. So, the second half of that joke is, the leads don't suck, your follow-up sucks, right? Leads don't suck, your follow-up sucks. Has anyone ever told you or you've seen, you either trying to break up with somebody and you're trying to let them down easy and the whole, it's not you, it's me thing, right? In this case, it's the opposite, right? It's not me, it's you, right? I know that 99% of salespeople, at least 92% of salespeople are doing really bad at their follow-up. I'm also not even perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm so much better than I was in my early days and constantly getting better. That's all that we can do. Okay, so we're going to do some stats, a couple of slides. I've been rambling for a while. I'm going to show you a couple of slides. I'm not going to bore you too much with that. And then I'm going to do something that's hopefully a little bit funner and break it up. All right. The leads don't suck. Your follow-up sucks, right? Sales stats. All right. This is a Harvard Business Review study. So don't take my word for it. Take Harvard's word for it. It takes an average of 8 to 12 touches to close the average high-ticket sale. All right. Yet 44% of salespeople give up after just one attempt. 44% of salespeople. Why? Well, they're not good at their job, first of all. Secondly, the one call close. The one call close, my ass. I can't say there's no such thing, but the problem is all these people, that's what they're doing. Oh, the leads suck. Okay. The one call close exists. But only after you do hundreds and hundreds of calls and you close 10 deals, maybe one of them is a one call close. But if you don't do the work, you're never going to get there. And it's not going to be 80, 90% of your deals. All right. 44% of them are horrible, complete trash. This should give you confidence that you can dominate every one of those people. Secondly, only 8% of salespeople follow up more than 5 times. 8%. Those are the best salespeople in the world. The top 8% of salespeople are following up more than 5 times. Did I say 8 to 12? No. I said 5. They didn't say how many people follow up 8 to 12 times. But I am going to guess that it's 1%. I'm going to guess that it's less than 1% of salespeople that follow up more than 12 times, or more than 11, or more than 10 on average. That means by doing what I'm telling you right now, you're going to put yourself in at least the top 8% of salespeople worldwide, but really you're going to put yourself in the top 1 to 2% of salespeople worldwide, right? So let's talk about first mover advantage. This should give you confidence. This might be scary because you're like, I'm not doing that. But now you know better, you do better. That's all you can do. No crying over spilt milk. Whoever moves will experience the result of the principle. All right. This should give you confidence that it's 8 to 12. That's not crazy. With automation and AI, we're going to blow past that. You should be confident. And if you don't have a lot of leads, you should be able to do this manually and blow past it. You should be confident now that you can put yourself in at least the top 8% of salespeople worldwide. You can put yourself in the top 1 to 2% of salespeople worldwide if you just do this. We're going to break it up a little bit. All right. Who remembers when you're in class? I don't know how old everyone is in here. When I was in class in high school or middle school or whatever, when the teacher would bring out that old rickety trolley with the TV on top and it was movie time in class. Who remembers that? Anybody who liked that? I did. So we're going to break this up. I'm going to show you guys a little clip from a movie, one of my favorite movies, one of the best sales movies of all time. Glengarry Glen Ross. Anybody watch Glengarry Glen Ross? Alec Baldwin. Coffee is for closers. I pretty much have that speech memorized. Some of you might be like, oh, I've seen it. I don't want to watch it. I'm going to play it again because I want to highlight something, the point that I'm making right now through this clip, right? Because there's so much truisms there. One thing I want to say first is for anyone who's seen this or hasn't seen this, we are in a modern day. This is a depiction of the classic old school slimy, sleazy salespeople that everybody hates. So many people hate sales because they hate the sleazy salesperson, the used car salesman. We can just look past this and just look at the principles. But it is a great, great classic, right? So I'm going to pop that on right now. And we're just going to sit back and watch. And I'm going to break it down after. We're on, y'all.
Uh-huh. The rich get richer. That's the law of the land. Who belongs to the BM?
It is 7:30.
So who is that?
And where's Mr. Roman?
Well, I'm not a leash, so I don't know, do I? Let me have your attention for a moment. Because you're talking about what? You're talking about bitching about that sale you shot. Some son of a bitch don't want to buy land. Somebody don't want what you're selling. Some broad you're trying to screw, so forth. Let's talk about something important. Are they all here?
All but one.
Well, I'm going anyway. Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only. You think I'm fucking with you? I am not fucking with you. I'm here from downtown. I'm here from Mitch and Murray. And I'm here on a mission of mercy. Your name's Levine? Yeah. You call yourself a salesman, you son of a bitch? I don't gotta listen to this shit. You certainly don't, pal. Because the good news is you're fired. The bad news is you've got 1 week to regain your job, starting with tonight. Starting with tonight's sit. Oh, have I got your attention now?
Yep.
Good. Because we're adding a little something to this month's sales contest. As you all know, first prize is a Cadillac Eldorado. Anybody want to see second prize? Second prize, a set of steak knives. Third prize is you're fired. You get the picture? You laughing now? You got leads. Mitch and Murray paid good money. Get their names to sell them. You can't close the leads you're given. You can't close shit. You are shit. Hit the bricks, pal, and beat it, because you are going out.
The leads are weak.
The leads are weak. The fucking leads are weak. You're weak. I've been in this business 15 years.
What's your name?
Fuck you. That's my name. You know why, mister? Because you drove a Hyundai to get here tonight. I drove an $80,000 BMW. That's my name. And your name is you're wanting. And you can't play in the man's game. You can't close them. Then go home and tell your wife your troubles. Because only one thing counts in this life. Get them to sign on the line which is dotted. You hear me, you fucking faggots?
Forgive that old timey one.
A, B, C. A, always, B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. AIDA, attention, interest, decision, action. Attention, do I have your attention? Interest, are you interested? I know you are, because it's fuck or walk. You close or you hit the bricks. Decision, have you made your decision for Christ? And action. AIDA, get out there. You got the prospects coming in. You think they came in to get out of the rain? A guy don't walk on the lot lest he wants to buy. They're sitting out there waiting to give you their money. Are you going to take it? Are you man enough to take it? Incredible. What's the problem, pal? You, Moss. You're such a hero. You're so rich. How come you're coming down here and waste your time with such a bunch of bums? You see this watch? You see this watch? Yeah. That watch costs more than your car. I made $970,000 last year. How much you make? You see, pal, that's who I am, and you're nothing. Nice guy? I don't give a shit. Good father? Fuck you. Go home and play with your kids. You want to work here? Close. You think this is abuse? You think this is abuse, you cocksucker? You can't take this. How can you take the abuse you get on a sit? You don't like it? Leave. I can go out there tonight. The materials you got make myself $15,000. Tonight, in 2 hours, can you? Can you? Go and do likewise. AIDA. Get mad, you son
Go
of a
and
bitch.
do
Get mad.
likewise.
You
Get
know what it takes
mad.
to sell real estate?
Let's go.
It takes brass balls to sell real estate. Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you. You want to go out on those sits tonight and close, it's yours. Not, you're going to be shining my shoes. And you know what you'll be saying? Bunch of losers sitting around in the bar. Oh, yeah, I used to be a salesman. It's a tough racket. These are the new leads. These are the Glengarry leads. And to you, they're gold. And you don't get them. Why? Because to give them to you is just throwing them away. They're for closers. I wish you good luck, but you wouldn't know what to do with it if you got it. And to answer your question, pal, why am I here? I came here because Mitch and Murray asked me to. They asked me for a favor. I said, the real favor, follow my advice and fire your fucking ass, because a loser is a loser. Bunch of fucking nonsense. Treat people like that.
Yo. Every time I watch that, I get pumped. Every time I watch that, I get mad. Get mad. If you're not happy with where you're at, get mad and do something about it. First thing, classic piece. A, B, C, always be closing. So it's not about always be closing. It's not about coffee is for closers. It's great, you know, blah, blah, blah. I love it. It's hypey. That's not why I showed that to you. The reason why I showed that to you is to highlight the exact thing I was just talking about. Only 8% of salespeople follow up more than 5 times, and who knows, maybe 1% follow up the 8 to 12 that is required. So that means if 1%, right? First place drives home in an Eldorado Cadillac. Second place gets a set of steak knives. Third place is you're fired, right? It's not about you getting fired. It's about how the world works of sales. 1% of the people, of salespeople in the whole world, are driving off in a Cadillac Eldorado. Let's say 50% of us, 50% of us are all sharing one set of steak knives. The 44% of people that follow up one time and then quit after that, they're fired. Completely trash. Get out of here. Less than 1% of us are going to drive off with that Cadillac Eldorado. But it can totally be you. Man, regardless of whether you come on and pay me to do it for you or whether you do this yourself, you should know now you have the confidence that you can do this, because people think it's so hard to be the best and it's so hard to get to the top. Here's the secret. There's less competition at the top. There's only 1% of people up there. Everybody else is competing. The 1%'s not competing. They don't compete with anybody. Everybody else is competing like crabs in a bucket. So that's the secret about being successful. It takes a lot of time to get there, but once you do, you fucking, you're going to get better problems. There's, you're not going to never have problems, but you're going to get better problems. That's what you want in life, all right? That's why I showed that clip, all right? Now, I want to bring that back to a couple of things. Zingerman's 12 Natural Laws of Success. My favorite one, number 7, is like the most ultimate timeless wisdom of all time. Successful businesses do the things that others know they should do, but generally don't do. Don't let that go over your head. I want you all to repeat after me. Successful businesses do the things that others know they should do, but that they generally don't do. Does this relate? Have we all done this? We've all done this. There are so many things that we know we're supposed to do every day that we don't do, whether it's in personal life or business. Whether we have a reason to, or whether the reason was because we were lazy and didn't do it. We know that there's no secret. The secret is just do it, get it done. We all know it. We all know the things that we're supposed to do and we don't do. And maybe it's 80% of the things we're supposed to do, we don't do. Maybe if you're better at life, it's 30 or 20 or whatever. You know that one person? You know that one person that just seems to do all those little things they're supposed to do? You know that person who's got a clean desk and a clean house? The people that kind of seem to have it figured out. There's one or two of them out there. We all know one person. It's like, man, they do all those things. Dang, look at their house and it's clean. What the? And they're successful at their job. The ones that could, they got the 401k straight. They got they got everything straight. If they own a business, they're doing it properly. They're not like janky. That person, they're out there. They're the ones driving the El Dorado. Typically, not always, typically. Successful businesses do the things that others know they should do and generally don't do. The fortune is in the follow-up. Human is the secret, not the AI. Are you feeling the pattern here? These are principles, yeah. These are not strategies. These are not softwares. These are not techniques. I will get into the strategies. I will get into the softwares and the techniques. But if you just don't apply the principle, none of that will matter. Let's get back to the why, right? I just showed you this clip of Glenn Ross, Alec Baldwin. I love it, one of my favorites. But you might look at that and be like, God, that guy is an asshole. I hate sleazy salespeople. I don't want to be like that. Great, fine. Don't be like that. You shouldn't be. We're in a modern day. People have seen through the bullshit. That was a different era. We have to approach it differently. We have to be respectful and provide value first. Fine. That's what I'm doing right now. I agree with that. I agree with the higher moral standard. As you know better, you do better. As a society, we know better nowadays. And we do better, right? Well, hopefully. That's what I'm trying to do, right? So forget that part. But let's talk about the morals, right? Do you feel like, around money, this is like, God, the hangups on money that we all deal with, that I've dealt with. Have you ever heard or felt that money is evil or rich people are evil or, so much of that out there? Have you ever felt that? It kind of creates a cognitive dissonance in us, in the entire world population, because we know we need money and we want more of it. It's not just about the money. It's the money that allows us to do the things we want. It allows us freedom of our time, live our lives, support our friends and family, all of those things. But then we've got this mental block. Money's evil. So you're like trying to get it, but you can't get it because you think you're bad if you get it. Is it immoral? Is money immoral? Money is just a tool. Money is just a thing. And within it is polarity, right? It's a resource of which you can use to buy back your time, right? Give yourself the freedom. People say, I want to do good in the world. Okay. If you want to do good in the world, then you want to do things. Maybe you want to do things for a certain group of people, or you want to build something for a certain organization, or you want to give food or clothing or money or do anything to do good in the world. You want to provide for your family, da 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 da. What is the thing in the world today that allows you to do things? Anybody? It's one word. What is it that allows you to buy things and do things and build things? Thank you, Brian. Money, right? So if you want to help people, the best way to do that is by amassing more money. People say, I only need so much money. Okay. But if it's just you that you care about, that's cool. Fine. But don't you have ambition? You say you have ambitions to help others? You want to help your brother that needs it, or your mom that needs it, or that group of disadvantaged people that you may be a part of? What is it? You want to help, women's causes or this or that? Okay, you say that, but you just only need so much money. Don't you think more would be more helpful for that? So if more money is helpful for that, and we're feeling that way and doing those things because of our morality, we're good people trying to do good things, then wouldn't it mean that we have a moral obligation to help the people that we're able to help? We have gifts and talents and money if we can make enough of it. If it's the right thing to do and we're able to do it and we actually want to do it, don't we actually have a moral obligation to get as much of it as we possibly can? Maybe the bad thing, if you know you have the ability to do more, let me put it that way. There are a lot of people in abject poverty. Let me not minimize that. But if, say, you're here today and now you know, then it would actually be bad or immoral to not take action and maximize your resource. You have a moral obligation. Moral obligation to grow your business as big as you possibly can, a moral obligation to provide your services and your value to as much people as you possibly can, and a moral obligation to make as much money as you possibly can. Because whatever you're doing, I'm hoping you feel like you're providing a valuable service or doing something positive. If you do something that you're passionate about and you believe is helping people, then you have an obligation to help as many people as possible, don't you? And in order to help people and get things done, you're going to need money because you can't do it all. You don't have a capacity to do it all. So you're going to have to hire people to grow that organization. Some people say, I just want to have a one-person shop. I don't want to manage employees and all that stuff. Fine, that's okay. You know, you don't have to self-maximize, but I'm just giving you the imperative and the framework of why it is so important and why we have a moral obligation, right? You have a moral obligation. So here, I want to focus on the D, right? Attention, interest, decision. Decision. In that clip, Alec Baldwin says, have you made a decision for Christ? But have you made a decision? Have you committed to yourself, to your family, to your business? That's what I want you to do. And I want to give you the power and the knowledge and the understanding to be able to make that decision. Because when you make a decision to make a commitment, when you can make a decision to make a commitment to yourself and to your family to maximize your potential, help as many people as you possibly can, and make as much money as you possibly can doing it. People say, how much money is enough then? How much do you want? You put a number on it? Another mentor of mine, he said, I don't have a number of how much money I want. I want as much money as I can possibly make. I want to empower you to make a decision, to make a commitment to yourself, to make as much money as you can possibly make. Because again, in continuing that story, he says, everything in life self-maximizes. This is another principle, right? Self-maximization in every area of life. People, trees, gravity, ocean, physical principles. A tree will grow as big and strong as it can based on all factors, based on its genetics, its location, the environmental factors around it. You've seen those big, strong trees growing in the right pristine conditions, and you've seen that. You've also seen the trees planted on the sidewalks in the city where they've got this little concrete box and the roots are busting out and breaking the concrete. And sometimes that causes them to struggle. Well, you've seen the ones that are in the concrete and breaking through the concrete and they still get freaking massive and they break the whole foundation of the building they're planted next to. I've seen that. I come from the trades. I've been in landscaping for so long and building and all that. That tree had to self-maximize based on the principle. So for us, the same thing with money. That's the moral obligation, all right? Right here, last part, commitment to self. Why? People would say self. Is that selfish? I don't know, maybe. These are scientific principles, people. Why? How come when you're on an airplane, they do the air mask thing, right? They always say, if you're with a child or disabled, please put your mask on first before putting the mask on the child. Why? Is that just for fun? Is that just because? Have you ever thought deeply about why? We all get it. We all say, oh, yeah, you know, you got to put your mask on first. Yeah, and it's because, let's break it down. Why? I have children. If your plane is going down, do you know how much anxiety and nervousness and panic you're going to have? You're going to want to, in the moment, put that mask on your kid. Don't do it, please. I hope none of y'all are ever in a plane crash. But here's why. You're going down in a plane crash. All right? You put the mask on your baby. Cool. Before you can put your mask on, you passed out. You didn't have oxygen quick enough. Now you're unconscious. You got a baby, what, 1-year-old? Maybe he's a teenager, 15-year-old. Maybe he's 9. She's 9 years old. What's that 9-year-old going to do now? Mommy, daddy's passed out in the seat next to them. They've got an air mask, great. They've got oxygen, but when they hit that dang floor and hit the dang water or whatever, then they're all by themselves in a burning plane. No mommy and daddy to help them get out. If you put your mask on first and your baby passes out next to you before you can get the mask on, guess what? You are a fully grown, capable adult, and you can resuscitate that baby, or at least try. That baby cannot resuscitate you, and now that baby is make, dead, gone, pow. Sorry, that's why. That's why they say you have to love yourself before you can love someone else. It's not foo-foo. It's fact. It's scientific principle. You literally, it's not possible to love someone else properly. You can say you do and you can try, but that's not proper love. This is why you have to take care of yourself first. A lot of people make their first money. You know, I understand. I want to give it to mama. I want to give it to dada. I want to give it to my cousin that needs it. Some people are just so generous, and generosity is great. But how are you really going to help someone if you keep if you keep hustling backwards? You're not. You might help mommy a little bit or cousin a little bit. But if you had self-maximized, you could have helped mommy, daddy, aunt, uncle, all the aunts and uncles, all the cousins, your entire family. You could experience generational wealth if you focused on yourself first, as opposed to just sending a little check here and there to mama. Mama appreciates it, and I appreciate you for doing it. Listen, it's so hard. I can't even imagine going down in a plane and saying, okay, now I know I got to put my mask on first, but I believe I could do it, and I try to do that in everyday life. That's the moral obligation, y'all. So I'm going to just real quick do a little recap on the how, okay? So again, this is day 1. It's a lot about the why. Day 2 is going to be breaking down the $200 billion sales funnel. You can guess on who that may be. And day 3 will be kind of the how. So let me just share my screen. So on top of follow-up, the most important things that we're going to break down in the sales process are also going to be speed to lead, text messages, right? Follow-up, speed to lead, and text messages. So when I say speed to lead, what does that mean? That means as soon as you have a lead, how fast does it take you to reach out to them? Nowadays, we live in a world where everyone is so busy. Their attention is spread so thin. You've got social media, you've got work, you've got family. You have people trying to text you, call you, leave you voicemail, send you emails, send you DMs on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on WhatsApp. And I probably didn't even name half of the things that are bombarding everybody every day. Speed to lead is so important because 50% of customers buy from the vendor who responds first. I'm going to say that again. 50% of customers buy from the vendor who responds first. That's for all sales. When it comes to B2B sales, that number is 78%. So 80% of the deals you can close are gone if you're not the first one that responds to them within the first 1 minute, at least the first 5 minutes. You should respond in the first minute. Speed to lead. Another piece of timeless wisdom that I don't think is true anymore is we grew up, at least I grew up saying like, hey, if you need to get anything done, get 3 quotes, right? You need the grass cut, you need to get the house painted, you need the roof done, get 3 quotes. You don't get taken advantage of by a contractor or whatever, right? Who does that anymore? I'll tell you who doesn't do it. 50% of customers worldwide and 78% of B2B business owners, they don't. Ain't nobody got time for that. Let's be real. Nobody's got time to go get 3 quotes. And then what? Look at them and then call somebody back. I ain't got time for that. And 80% of business owners don't got time for that. This is just the truth. This is the modern day. It was probably true when we were growing up. I came up in the 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, it was true. You had more time. Social media wasn't sucking 8 hours of your damn day away. Speed to lead. 391% more likely to close if contacted within the first 5 minutes. Within the first minute, I'm sorry, and it drops by another 80% after 5. Text messages are the most powerful communication channel in the world right now, by far. All right. So if you're not doing text messages, you need to do it. What we do is over all channels. We call it omni-channel. You don't want to ignore something. Email still works. Phone call still works. Don't work as good as it used to, and it don't work as good as text messages. But if you don't do it and you only do the thing that works best, you're still leaving a lot of money on the table. That's why we're here, to stop leaving all the money on the table. So we're going to be emailing, we're going to be calling, we're going to be leaving ringless voicemails or voicemail drops. We're going to be texting, the most important. We can also add on, a messenger to your website, Facebook Messenger, different things like that. That being said, text messages. 80% of text messages for businesses get open compared to 20% of business emails. That is just open. That's not they read it. That's not they were interested in it. That's not they were responded or booked a call. Open. 97% of all text messages are open. 67% of people prefer to book an appointment through text. They don't want to get on the phone with you, and they don't check their email. 31% of people opt into text to avoid visiting a physical location, a website, or an app for information. Do you know what that means? That means 1 out of 3 people don't even have time to go to your website. They don't even got time for that. 1 in 3 people don't even have time to go to your website. Please text them. I want everybody to repeat. Say this. I want you to repeat after me. 1 out of every 3 people doesn't even have time to go to my website. I want that to sink in. Text messages, deadly important. So we are going to, again, break all of this down in more detail over the next couple of days. So let me do a little wrap up. Moral obligation, persistence. What does all this mean? Fear of persistence. We got to get over your fear of persistence. When we do sales, we don't want to be sleazy. We don't want to be slimy. We want to be truthful. We don't want to lie. We want to be moral. We don't want to blah, blah, blah. We want to be patient, polite, and persistent. What is persistent? 8 to 12 touches. I don't give up. I'm persistent. Here's the thing. I can almost guarantee each and every one of you is patient and polite. I know you're polite because most people are. But I can almost guarantee you that you are not persistent enough. I don't know each and every one of you personally. I don't know your businesses. But I can almost guarantee that at least 90% of you are not persistent enough when it comes to sales. And that's why you're here. So it's a fear, right? We feel like we're bothering people. Oh, I just called them. I don't want to text them or email them. You're not bothering people because they asked you. If it's a warm lead that opted in first and foremost, or somebody that you know are speaking to, they've asked you to contact them. So if you don't contact them, you are doing them a tremendous disservice. Again, morals. What is the moral obligation? The moral obligation is to provide the help that you can provide to the people who've asked for it. If someone fills out the form on your website and asks you to call them or text them or email, and you don't, or you don't do it for 6 hours or 6 days, how many times have you left someone on red for 5 hours? Worse off, 5 days. Worse off, 2 weeks. A client that could have been a deal. I've done it. Please don't be shy. Who's done it? I think we've all done it. We've all left someone on red, whether it was a friend, a loved one, especially clientele. And it hurts. I hurt right now just talking about it and thinking about all the deals that I've lost over the years because of this. So what I'm saying is, sure, there's a line where you're bothering someone and it's a line that you don't want to cross. But what I'm saying is that line is so much further away than you think it is that you're probably not even close to it. So we just have to do repetition. We just have to do exposure therapy to ourselves to just hear it over and over and over again. Like I said, repeat as much as you can when you're watching. We need to exposure therapy ourselves. I need to keep doing it because I'm always trying to get better and stay at the forefront. Remember, you retain 10% of the information you hear. You retain 30 to 40% of the information that you write down taking notes, but you can retain up to 90% of the information that you speak, that you repeat. If I say something important and you can repeat it, you're liable to retain 90% of that information. That's why they say scientifically proven. That's why they say the best way to learn something is to teach something. And the best way to do that to yourself is repeat something you just learned. The secret here is, the secret is you. It's not the AI. The secret is not the AI. It's not the new flashy thing. The secret is the human ability and the magic, right? The only thing AI can do is help you do your job better and more efficiently. It can't do everything for you, nor should it do everything for you. If you don't work, it doesn't work. And that's just the bottom line. Before I wrap up, any questions? Anybody, any thoughts or questions, please, if you feel so inclined, come off mute and share. I would appreciate it. I'll give a couple minutes for that.
I appreciate the hyperbole. You said you're kind of going into the weeds a bit, but I think it's necessary to provide emphasis. I mean, you got to make it real. You got to give it some emotion. And I was on a call earlier. You asked about folks sharing things they're going through and stuff. I'm in the process of writing a $2.7 million offer on a model home for Toll Brothers, so I'm stressing over here. What God has in store for me, I don't know, but I think you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And
that's it.
If you keep knocking on the door to success and excellence, eventually they will have to let you in, or you're going to kick that motherfucker down.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's it. It's repetition. Get in, man. Listen, congratulations on that deal, my man. So proud of you. That is amazing. And also, please, everybody give a round of applause for that. Everyone give a round of applause for Elle coming off mute and sharing with us. You know, half of the value is y'all. I mean, most of the value in here is y'all. And so everything you can share is going to help me. It's going to help you. So I appreciate that.
Failure is the roadmap to success.
Failure is how you learn not to fail again. Right? It is the roadmap. You're right. Listen, I love it. I appreciate it so much. Coming off mute to speak in front of the class, baby. Thank you. So yeah, you know, some of you from the beginning of this, y'all that were here the whole time, be like, yo, this guy's been talking about physics and just all kind of other stuff. And yes, it's been a lot of the why. We haven't gone into a whole lot of the how yet. Why? Because if I just show you tactics and strategies and don't tell you why, it's probably not going to go anywhere. How many times have you taken a template from somebody who it used to work for, or a strategy or a tactic, and it didn't work? There's an underlying principle that must be obeyed. Principles are the laws that govern. That's why we're going through the why. All right. First and foremost, and we will get to the how. Can I share one more thing with y'all? Because I'm going to dive into this a little bit more. One last detail. When we talk about persistence and what is the line that we cross that's too much, right? I'm going to spend more time on this tomorrow. For all those people out there that are the 44% that call once, yeah, and then give up. This is a basic structure of best practices of how much and how I reach out and set up campaigns. to clients. Say somebody, a warm lead comes in, they're asking me to call them or set up an appointment. I'm going to give them a call. I'm going to, first of all, I'll tell you why all this later. Every time you call twice. Why? Because half the population has do not disturb on, so it's not going to go through until the second or third call. You're going to call immediately. If they don't answer, you're going to hang up and call again within the next 10 to 15 seconds. Then, if they don't answer, you're going to leave a voicemail. Then, 2 to 3 minutes later, you're going to send them a text message saying, hey, thank you for reaching out. Just left you a call and a voicemail. Then 2 to 3 minutes later, you're going to send an email saying the same thing. Why? Oh, that's a whole lot. Why? Most people don't check their voicemail. Most people don't check their email. Most people don't answer phone calls. So chances are, if you do these 4 things, you're lucky if they see one of them. So what I say is this is all one point of contact. That's all. That's one touch. Now, that's not true. It really is 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. But you asked me to call you or book you. You gave me your phone number and your email address. So all I'm doing is I'm basically reaching out once. But people say, oh, I just called. I don't want to text them. It's too much. They didn't see your call. They don't answer phone calls. Who answers phone calls? Nobody wants to answer phone calls these days. If you're going to get on a phone with somebody, you better text me first and let me know you're calling and when, and I'll let you know if I'm going to be available. And I think 90% of us feel the same way. If you see a number that's not known, you're going to pick it up the first time? Probably not. So we're going to go into this. So day 2, same thing. Day 3, we're going to trail off a little bit because it might become too much at some point. Maybe we don't text them on day 7 or 8. You see? But after 12 days, I've done 1, 2, if they don't respond, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 29 touches in 12 days. That may be more than you need or less than you need. You may think it's too much, but I'm telling you it's not. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm an expert in this field. And part of it is feeling it out. When you cross the line, you'll know, and you tone it back a little bit. But I'm telling you, if you think you've hit that line, you probably haven't. And that's why we're all here today, right? I will give you this document. You will get a couple other things. Let me kind of wrap it up with the last little couple pieces of housekeeping items. What are we doing tomorrow? We're breaking down the $2 billion sales blueprint. If you know anybody that this could be beneficial for, if you felt like you've gotten any value out of this today and you think someone else that this could help, please send them my way. Let me actually, there's the link. Somebody wants to sign up. It's the landing page. They'll get all the text and all of that. And so there's that. I will tomorrow, towards probably the end of the day, kind of start introducing a little bit my offer, what I do, how I do it, and what it costs for me to bring on clients, because I know that there may be some people interested in here to have me do it for them and with them. So I'll introduce that tomorrow and break that down fully on the 3rd day. We'll kind of have that whole complete thing to give that. And of course, all the resources, recordings, everybody's going to get, because I want everybody to be able to take advantage, right? Because there's a little, awkward period in between starting a business and spending money on marketing, right? And you've got to do a lot of it on your own in the beginning. So I want you to have the tools to be able to do that, whether we work together or not. Like I said, buy or don't buy, I don't care. This is part of my mission, and I know that I'm going to get some sales out of it from paying clients, and I'm going to get some real value out of it from the other folks that I can help in other ways. So thank you so much for being here. Part of what we're also going to be doing is crunching some numbers, doing some math, doing some real world examples, right? So please, also homework for y'all. Think about your numbers, please, so you can come with some little answers tomorrow, maybe. Your numbers. What does that mean? Just, basic numbers around your business, right? They can be guesstimates. They don't have to be exact, but how much is a client worth to you when you close a deal, right? How many new leads come in a month, so that we can break down the math of then how many book calls do you have? How many new clients per month? Do you have a lot of leads, but you need more results from them? Do you not have a lot of leads, and what you need is just more leads first? We'll break these things down and we'll be able to do the math. Like I said, the math has to math. We can math anything out. So we can break down what it costs for you to do certain things and how much you might have to spend to get a new client, right? So for a client that works with me, we've got to be able to break down the numbers and say, you have enough leads at a high enough price that you're going to close at a high enough rate that you're going to have a positive ROI in the money you pay me. Now, if you're doing it yourself, you need to be able to do the same thing. because you want to know how much is it going to cost me, how much in time and money to do this right, how much is it going to cost, and make the math, right? Because doing it yourself, you're not going to spend a lot of money. You have to spend your time. You're going to have to pay for some level of software. You know how that goes. So it's the difference between getting in for a few $100s a month or a few $1,000s a month. But either way, it's going to take you cost of time, energy, and money. If you have more time than money, you're going to put more time into it. If you got more money than time, vice versa, right? So please think about your numbers. I would really appreciate that. I would really love to break down with others here. Y'all, I think that's pretty much it. I want to thank each and every one of you so much for showing up here. I love you all. I appreciate your time, your energy, your effort. And I hope you've gotten something valuable after this. And I really hope to see each and every one of you tomorrow. Aloha.